Right? We're going to turn that on. Why not? I don't get any other phone calls anyway. I don't get telemarketers don't call my phone number at all. So that's why when somebody tries to tell me that Jimmy Garoski, when I said about my dad getting 60 to 70 phone calls a day, that's not normal, and I tried to tell him that's gang stalking. They're not telemarketers because he tried to talk to them to have them put him on the do not call list. They just hang up on him. They're never trying to sell anything. Even if he wanted to buy something, he couldn't. They would just hang up on him. That's not normal. That's just people calling him, harassing him 60 to 70 times a day. This is a guy who does not even know his own phone number, let alone give it out to anybody to be put on lists for telemarketers. So there's no reason why his number should appear on any lists for telemarketers because he never used to get 60 to 70 phone calls a day, So it just started at one point, right? And it's funny because when I'm with him and we're doing something or I'm telling him something important about gang stalking, right? Sharing some very valuable information because he's explaining something to me that happened to him, and then I'm trying to educate him on what's going on, and um, the phone will ring or whenever he gets up to go out to do something, and then we're in a conversation. Right when I'm in the middle of a conversation, giving him a piece of valuable information, the phone will ring, and it's in the other room. He'll go to answer it, and it'll be one of those telemarketing calls every time, and it always happens right whenever. It's the timing of it is how when you know, right? But Jimmy Grabowski will go into my comment section and he will try to say that it's normal, or he said it in the chat. I'm not sure in one of the videos, but he tried to say, "Oh, I literally get that many calls a day." He said he's a fucking liar. I'm sorry, but I would love to see his call history where he's getting that many calls a day. And if anybody gets that many calls a day from a telemarketer, you need to report them to the FCC or report them to the Federal Consumer Protection Bureau, Federal Bureau of Consumer Protection, FDCP, or whatever it is, because it's absolutely highly illegal and they will be fined enough that they'll be out of business because these telemarketers do not do that. They know better. And that started with California and they enacted the do not call policy and everything else. And they set an example and let these businesses know they're not going to get away with that, harassing people. Because they're harassing people with phone calls. So that's what these gang stalkers do, is they pretend to be telemarketing calls to harass people because it's a form of harassment. I mean, it clearly pisses people off, and it it slowly sensitizes them to that phone ringing all the time. So then they can easily manipulate their phone records without them discovering it or without them, figuring out something's off because that person's like already like, fuck it. I'm not even touching that phone. I'm not going to try answering it anymore because I get 60 to 70 calls a day. They can take what messages they want then and leave other ones that they don't care about. They can filter out. And that's what they do. They do that to me. They just take and don't let me get certain messages, just the important ones. Just like obviously they take and they don't allow me to update certain apps. They make it look like it's updated. That way I don't do anything about it. But I did this before. I would actually go in and I would check the version history of my app against my app that I have to see if they were updating. And they wouldn't. But it wasn't like that. It was just it wouldn't show up under the updates available. You know what I mean? It certainly wouldn't show up under the updated recently list, but I would check the version history and then I'd go into the app and I'd check to see what version I had on my phone. And then I would go in, and once I did that, then all of a sudden after checking each individual app, then it would appear in the list of updates available, pending updates. And only then, only whenever I look into it. So basically, when you are targeted and you have a phone, all of the convenient automated services that make everybody's life so much easier like with notifications and automatic updates, and then notifications that, hey, don't forget, you want to do this, you want to do that. All of those important notifications that you've learned to rely on over the years. Because your phone is a smartphone, it should be doing this shit on its own. You shouldn't have to check every single fucking app every time, because they don't want you updating your apps in your operating systems because they're busy. They just spent a bunch of money on an exploit, right? And then the app company probably put out an update patching that vulnerability, but they don't want you to get it because then they can't do that particular hack. They can't access less and less of your phone if you're updating all your shit, on a regular basis. If your phone's updating everything on a regular basis. I mean, these are just theories of mine, but it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So I'm just, believe me, I'm sensitized to this stuff. This happens to me every day, and I just don't really care anymore. So I stopped posting all these videos showing all the weird shit my phone does, and because I already know, you know. And if you're targeted, you know what I'm talking about too. I'm sure it happens to you too. But every once in a while, I do forget that there are a lot of people trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and they don't know. And they could probably use this information because I know it was very helpful to me when I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So I have to remind myself every once in a while to continue to put out this information to help people who are at a point where I used to be, where they're trying to figure everything out. They're scared to talk about it. They don't want to look crazy, and everybody's out to get them. Everybody's against them, and they're just you know they're against sharing their business with anybody because of what's going on right now, and that's part of it. That's the whole part of the game plan. It's a psychological warfare tactics to isolate you, get you so you don't want to talk to anybody. So you make that choice and you don't want to talk to anybody. That way they can do more to you. They can control more aspects of your life. And you'll never know. They don't even have to gaslight you because you don't check anyway. You don't have anybody. You don't talk to anybody. How would you know? How would you find out if there's one little setting on your phone that's no longer there because you don't notice it? You don't talk to anybody. So they just figure, oh, you're never going to find out. He's not even going to notice that little setting. But it doesn't work on me because I am like relentless when it comes to my phone, and just I'm constantly, holding their feet to the fire. I'm constantly deleting my cache, and I'm constantly deleting my cookies and resetting my settings, and I'm constantly resetting my network. I'm constantly deleting apps and re-downloading them and checking for updates. I'm very diligent when it comes to checking for updates and staying up to date on the latest software update information and all in that whole world. And so it is kind of hard for them, I'd imagine, to to get away with a lot with me and my phone. And I think that's why a lot of this stuff, with my dad getting 60 to 70 phone calls a day on his phone. Right? Why is that? Because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know how to work his phone. My mom, she's had an iPhone for years. There's all kinds of weird stuff happening with hers. I just looked at it last week. For some reason, her her original email that she's had for over a decade, she uses for everything. She got a new phone and it transferred everything over from her other phone to her new phone. But then she's showing me this email. It's a new email. It's not her old one, and she can't access her old email, and she doesn't know why it didn't work, and she can't. Somebody added a different two-step verification recovery email to her original email, and we were trying to look into it to recover her original email because that's her Apple ID and everything. And have no idea how this new Apple ID got on there, and new Gmail got on there. She said she didn't create it. She has no idea where it came from. So how does that happen? And when you transfer everything from one phone to another, when you buy a new one, it transfers your accounts over as well. It doesn't just create a new Gmail for you. You know what I mean? So obviously somebody got a hold of her phone or did whatever. They got a hold of her Amazon account as well. Same thing. She signed into like a different Amazon account. It doesn't have her original account. She's been using that Amazon account for years. I mean, she has everything linked to her Amazon account. And that's with the home cameras. She had a cloud service paid for through her Amazon account. And I found out they were absolutely hacking her Amazon account there. That's how they were able to get on and delete just little clips of videos here and there. So it was pointless. The day I put them up, I was checking to make sure that the motion detection worked and everything. And you know what happened? The gangstalkers pulled down and in and out for the stupidest reasons. They would either come down and ask for directions or, oh, is this where your neighbor lives? Oh, yeah, it's a dead end. In a red freaking SUV, come on, bright red SUV. And then I would look at the automatically recorded motion detection activated footage, and it would show my neighbor leaving, and I mean, it would trigger it. A bird flying by would trigger it. Like it was very sensitive, meaning it wasn't going to miss somebody pulling down in or out. It wasn't going to miss that. But then the next video was my neighbor pulling out again a couple hours later. So please, explain that. That was them letting you know. Oh yeah, go ahead. You can do whatever you want. We just want you to know. We want you to make sure that you know that we can delete whatever videos whenever we want. You control that shit. So pretty much deterring me from messing with the cameras whatsoever, because it's probably a pain in the ass for them to do it. They did it once, it was effective. I said fuck it, and I quit even trying to fuck with them. Then I went back to my closed circuit security cameras on a local NVR, not connected to the internet, so it can't be accessed, it can't be hacked. So I don't even have access to it on my phone. It's on its own little system, and I relocated the cameras so that you can't see them. You can't see what they're at. And I think it's hilarious that Jimmy Gaboski comes on here and asks and says a statement like that. So it obviously worked. That's good to know. It's probably been eating you guys up because I did that a while ago. But Jimmy Gaboski comes on and says, well, I'm glad that you had to get rid of those cameras you had up. And that's on a video that was where my old security camera was. It was right there where you could have a mailman go walk by and punch it if he wanted to. So they needed moved anyway. But I did that months ago. So all this time, have they really been wondering if my cameras are up or not? So that's good. That means that I've been affected. They don't know everything because after I relocated them, I also realized, well, I'm not going to put the footage on YouTube videos so that they can figure out where I have them, because that would just be fucking stupid. I mean, I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night, and I might have made mistakes in this targeting in the past, and you fucking idiot perps have, been able to call me stupid or do stupid things to me. But guess what? I learn from my mistakes. That's the difference between me and you guys. I learn from my mistakes. I welcome mistakes because that means that it's never going to happen again. Because I just got to learn something. And when you people realize that the people who have made more mistakes should not be persecuted for it. You people think that people that have made mistakes in their life are some kind of bad people or something, when the opposite is true. The best people you're going to find in life are the people who've made the most mistakes, because they've learned more than anybody else. They're going to be the best, well-rounded, enlightened individuals you're ever going to meet, because they've been there, done that, learned the lessons. How are you going to learn the lessons if you're perfect and you never do any wrong and you never commit any crimes or do anything bad, and you're just perfect all the time. How are you ever going to learn a damn thing? And don't tell me, oh, you already know. You just you just know because you're a good person. No, bullshit. Bullshit. The best people are those who have already made those mistakes and experienced that and lived to face the consequences of those mistakes. Like I would never trust a perfect person, somebody who's never been in trouble with the law, somebody who's who's naive, who's never touched a drug. Sorry, but I'm very skeptical of those people. I don't trust them one fucking bit. Not one bit. First of all, if they get in trouble, they're throwing everybody they can under the bus because oh my god, their life's over if they get a traffic ticket or something. They'll do everything they can to get out of it. Secondly, they're stupid as fuck when it comes to just common sense street smarts because they're perfect, so they don't have to worry about life's problems, the problems that everybody else faces. So yeah, I dare say that people with a perfect track record and perfect people, either they're really fucking good at lying and getting away with shit, which makes them a piece of shit, or they really are naive and they've never made a mistake, and those people are sorry, but they're a liability. They are a danger to our national security. How about that? Like my neighbor, when she was talking to some scammer online because she was lonely and she was talking to some guy in the army. She showed me a picture of him. Then she showed me a picture of his friends, and then I immediately showed her that it was the same exact picture. They just cropped out the people on this side of the picture and zoomed in on it, and it was the chaplain from the army. So the guy that's literally the preacher. Yeah, that's who you're dating online. I said I don't think it's a real person, and then I found out. I heard that she was getting checks sent to her by these people, and she was going and cashing the checks and then giving some other woman the cash. So they were just using her account to cash these checks. Now, why would anybody do that unless they were trying to hide money somewhere? Now, that would be the neighbor that lived below me that Jimmy Grabowski tried to claim that I drilled a hole in her bathroom. She was like 70 years old. Why the fuck would I try to spy on my 70-year-old neighbor? It was a fucking kook. This woman, I can't tell you how many times she bugged me and asked me, I can't figure out how to turn the volume up on my phone. I can't figure out the ringer just won't ring. And every single time it was the silent switch. The switch was turned off. And I showed her every time. So every time it happened, she just forgot about that. She couldn't figure out how to turn her ringer on. Come on. Now, every time looking back on it was just an attempt for her to get close to my phone or get me somewhere, whatever the case was. It was just her playing a fucking role, playing dumb. And I don't think it's any coincidence that her daughter's ex-husband's a state cop. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. And her daughter is very good friends with a certain probation officer by the name of Pam Neff. Is very good friends with that certain probation officer who threw me in jail illegally back in 2013, had it out for me for years. Yeah, these little coincidences. Yeah, coincidences. It's just crazy when you start listing them all and you look at the big picture and you realize there isn't a single fucking thing and that you're looking at that is a coincidence. And it's all happened by design. And you can connect all these people and this shit together. It's just after they have done the damage to you, are you able to look back and realize, what they were doing, boldly, blatantly, right in front of your face. It makes you feel stupid, you know. But yeah, so that neighbor that lived below me in the apartments, apparently was getting checks sent to her from overseas or some, I don't know, some dude she was dating from Afghanistan or some shit. I don't know. I mean, I looked at it. I tried to tell her politely, like, man, this isn't a real. I don't think this is a real person. I didn't know that the chaplain, did. I didn't think they did much dating. First of all, online dating with strangers that are half a world away. See, I don't know why my phone just did that. It did that all on its own. As soon as I turned my head and looked away for a second, and my control panel popped up. I'm trying to shut off my screen recording, I'm guessing. Let's look at these comments here. So let's look at the perps here. Let's see what the perps have to say today. Let's see. My brother, Jesus Christ, replied with a bunch of laughs. Okay, yeah, it's real funny, Ed. Mecca replied, faces look ugly in real line. Okay. So it's 3 hours ago and then 1 day ago, and I've had nothing else. Those are important. Okay, this week. I'm Gangstuck 91 commented, bro, you annoying. I bet, two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to get that song stuck in your head. Virginia got my back, because Virginia's a sweetheart. She's a good person. And that's it, I guess. Make Kasahara BTK commented that girl is trolling my efforts. Let's see what he had to say. Have a peek, John. That girl is trolling my efforts. Have a peek. What am I supposed to peek at? I don't get it. I don't understand. Am I missing something? Am I supposed to be a mind reader or something here? No girl mentioned me recently, of course he did. He mentions me in all his videos. Let's see, he did mention me in a post. This one here. Yeah, this post here. This is a picture I've never seen before. Last year, almost just over a year ago, when I was at my brother's to talk to him, and he started recording me like a crazy person, and I posted the Patton Karen videos that they somehow got taken down without me even getting a notification from YouTube. But anyway, that was that day. That's me recording from a public street while my brother was harassing me and yelling over and over again for about 20 minutes. Just yelling the same thing over again and trying to create the narrative or the picture, paint a picture that looked as if I was harassing him. So I wasn't leaving. That's his flower pot. I destroyed his flower pot. And but this is from his point of view, him recording me. I've never seen this before. It's been over a year. I don't know where Nerve Gorilla got it, but I could take like one guess. Is probably about all it would take. I mean, guess Jesus Christ gave it to you, right? I mean, it's just funny. But they're not gonna tell me where this is probably up on some fucking Kiwi Farms laugh fucking post or something like that. It's not on YouTube, to my knowledge. I've never seen this before, but Nerve Gorilla has it. And he decided to make a post saying, I'm glad you don't record like this anymore. Although I wish other TIs learned to turn their camera horizontally before recording. But that's not why he posted it. He posted it just to let me know that he's in cahoots with my brother and that he has this picture because he thinks that I'm going to care and I'm going to say, oh, where'd you get that? I want that. No, they did that with the fucking interview too, where I got in voice with him and destroyed him in an interview. And he hung up on me and blocked me. He rage quit the interview. And then he wouldn't let that interview see the light of day. But somehow, when I talked about it, my brother came into the live stream in the chat and he said he had that video. So my brother had the video. that I couldn't even get, even though I was in the interview, because I immediately went back and tried to record it, and Nerve Gorilla hurried up and privated it, like right away after he rage quit the interview because I asked him the right questions. So he won't say that he destroyed me in an interview, will he? No. As a matter of fact, he cut back on what he was saying about me quite a bit. But that's why. Because I destroyed him in an interview. He won't share it with anybody. So now he does shit like this just to try to get to me. You know, my brother has the interview and let me know that. And then Nerve Girl has this picture. You know, no, he doesn't talk to my brother. He doesn't know my brother. Now, why would he know my brother and all that? Because they're gang stalkers, all of them. So, it's important that you know that. And yep, I was a dirty motherfucker because I was working. And Jimmy Grabowski is demanding my W-2s. Okay, tell me if this is normal, right? I mean, it's not normal at all, whatsoever. There's Jimmy boy. See, I don't get notifications about Jimmy's comments. That's weird, right? Shouldn't I get notifications when Jimmy Grabowski comments on the videos? I don't get a lot of notifications that I should get. Here's notifications. Okay, there it is. Let's see, oh yeah, see, show your W-2 from 2022. You're worried about nerve showing stuff, show your W-2. So, I said to him, I said, why do you want to see my W-2 so bad, you weirdo? He's been asking me for my W-2 for I don't know, like this week. That's his I don't know, his grand idea to make me look bad or something. I mean, I just simply asked him, I was like, why the fuck would I show you my W-2? It's my private tax information, retarded. It's not normal for people to go around demanding other people's W-2s. And then on the couch with Dark Blood Timmy said, Johnny Huffman prowls around filming cars at the stop sign on Dirt Street. No, I record people in front of my house that drive down and approach me in front of my house. And it's 3rd Avenue, not 3rd Street, to the right. And the stop sign is in front of my house. They know that, though. They just want me to say that so that I dox myself, you know. Let's see what else we got here. I responded, and somebody liked the comment. I said, these women drive past my house really slow 3 times before approaching me to ask for directions to literally the easiest place in Patton to find. Then they told on themselves and said they were going to get a car they left in the parking lot. Meaning they lied when they said they had never been there and they didn't know what to say when I called them out on it. And they just pulled out because they got caught. So that's when I pulled my phone out to record their line asses. And that's how that went. That's why that video got posted. These gangstalkers are retards. They're extremely low IQ. I mean, seriously, you can't make this shit up. You can't think stupid. And I mean, I try to educate them. I try to show them, like, you have to be a little smarter than what you're working with, or else it's just going to backfire and you're going to humiliate yourself. Yep, see here. I thought he was working, left my fucking ass off. That didn't last long, now did it? Still waiting to see that W-2 from 2022. Cough, cough. That will never happen. I'm picturing you holding a job for more than 25 days straight. Bum life. He thinks that, like, I think he thinks this bothers me. I get a kick out of it. I think it's hilarious that he cares about my life so much. Hey, Jimmy, I'm not working. I don't fucking care what you think. I think it's funny. I think it's sad and pathetic that you care so much about my life. I mean, it really is. You live in the projects, Jimmy. Oh, your time is coming. That's my buddy's, my kids, and my son's friend. But I asked him, I said, what makes you think that I'm not working? Because I post a video where I'm not at work? Your brain doesn't do well with complex ideas, does it? I said, I'm just picturing you doing something with laser focus until the sound of a coin dropping snaps you right out of it and into a frantic mode while you look around for something shiny. It's, like, seriously, these people are that stupid. Like, I picture like Rain Man and, have you seen my baseball? Have you seen my baseball? Have you seen my baseball? Yeah, and then you got, you know, Forrest Gump. That's what Jimmy Grabowski reminds me of, Forrest Gump. Hey, Jimmy, does your mama tell you that stupid is as stupid does? If not, she should have, because, because stupid is as stupid does. Jesus Christ commenting, ironic comment. Okay. Oh, and Jimmy Grabowski is trying, now he tried to say that my mom was me, that I'm trying to be my mom. I think that's hilarious too. Like, I would have done a better job trying to be my mom. Nope, you can ask my mom when you see her in person. Ask her if she commented on my YouTube video. Yeah, I don't have to pretend to be my mom. I share this information with my mom. She sees it all. She thinks you guys are fucking pieces of shit. That's what I mean. Like, somebody, an outside perspective, they see these comments and stuff. You guys aren't convincing anybody of anything. You're just showing the right general public that the stuff we're talking about is true, and that you guys are fucking pieces of shit nobodies that are so pathetic that you have nothing better to do than to try to bring some other people down for no reason. Like, you're grasping at straws, trying to find something to make up about them for some reason. What are you gaining out of this? I don't understand. Jimmy Grabowski says, "Oh, it's free entertainment. Free entertainment." I can think of a lot more entertaining things than trolling somebody on YouTube and making pathetic attempts to try to, I don't know what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make me mad, you gotta find a different line of work, because you really, really suck at it. And if you're trying to convince other people that I'm something I'm not, again, be good at it, because it speaks for itself. So, with that being said, peace out. Be good at it. See ya, Jimmy. Jimmy.